We're all familiar with the primary color wheel, but I just want to use it for a few seconds to introduce a bit of information about color. Colors across from each other in the color wheel are called complements. Red and green, blue and orange, violet and yellow are all complementary sets. Now there's an interesting thing about these complementary sets. Mixing any of them together will give us a basic gray. And gray in a variety of possible tints and shades is the foundation for all of the natural colors found in nature. I'm using Viridian and alizarin crimson, brushing them out with white on the palette so we can get a better idea of the true color. I'll use them as complements to mix a basic gray for the painting. As you can see, they have a bluer cast than the pure colors of the color wheel, but let's add white and see what happens. Touching the colors with a palette knife and cutting and smoothing them together. Alizarin is the dominant color and it turns the mixture toward red if I use too much, so I'll pick up more of the green and mix it in. And with a little patience here, I'll have our basic gray. I'll show you in a moment how to use it as the base color to mix the many gray hues that we'll use throughout the painting. But before we get to that, I need to introduce a few more colors to the palette. Winsor blue, again brushed out with white, and burnt sienna. When I was painting the misty light source around the top of the headlands, I began with white, then added just a hint of Indian yellow to brighten the area. As I painted away from the light source, I brushed in more white until it was just slightly off white, and then burnt sienna for a smoother transition into the cooler grays in the left side of the sky. The result is a very warm sunlit area in the fog. Another color. To create the blue in the clouds in the upper left corner of the sky, I used a bristle filbert to lay in a very light mixture of pure Winsor blue and white. I brushed it out on the palette to check the color value. It gives the illusion of blue sky visible between the breaks in the fog. In the top of the headlands near the light source, I used burnt sienna and white. In the brightest areas added Indian yellow to intensify the color. Again, brushing the colors together with white on the palette so we can see the color values. Now let's go back to the base color, the gray that we mixed a few moments ago. Add white to Winsor blue and then smooth it into the gray. And we get a beautiful gray blue that we'll be using in some of the shadowed areas and foam bursts, as well as the secondary highlights in the rocks. Again, add the gray, this time to alizarin crimson. Then white, and we have the transition grade violet that comes into focus at the center of the sky. In the next chapter, we're going to be painting the distant waves behind the center of interest. There are several shades of grayed green in the undercolors, so again I'll use the complementary gray. This time smoothing it into Viridian and adding white to reduce the color value. I'll take just a moment to clean the brush, and then it's back to our gray once more. This time brushing in a touch of alizarin and Winsor blue, adding burnt sienna. It's dark, so I'll add more white. Near the color of the lighted area of the foreground headland, I moved it toward the cooler hues in burnt sienna and white. And we have the blend used in the deeper unlighted section of the headland. Now before we move on, let's take another look at how the colors blend together.